Welcome back, Whisper Sisters. Today we are talking about how divorce can flip your whole damn life upside down if you let it. Trust me, I know because I've been there. I know how heavy it can feel, I know how isolating it can feel, and I know how devastating it is to let go of what you thought was. But I'm here to tell you, it does not have to ruin your life. Today I'm talking about how I stopped divorce from breaking me down and ruining my life. How I changed it from a tragedy into a triumph and went after the things I deserved because of it. I'm going to break down 5 steps that I used in hopes that you can use it too and turn into a bad bitch. Let's get into it.
My mind seemed to take a step out, get some air now, let your edge out, to some ice.
The very first thing you have to do, sis, is accept that this is your reality. You gotta accept that this is happening to you. You are breaking up. You are getting a divorce. It's not happening to nobody else. Even if you initiated it or your spouse initiated it, it doesn't matter. Sometimes when traumatic things are happening, we kind of start watching our lives as if it's a movie. Like all of these things are happening at one time and things are just passing us by. Time seems like it's just going and going and going. You have to snap back into your body and accept the fact that it's happening. You have to feel it to heal it. And when I say feel it, I'm not talking about letting the grief swallow you up and swallow you whole. I'm talking about letting yourself naturally have the feelings. It's sad. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to scream. All of those things are normal. It's divorce. This is not what you signed up for. When you got married, you thought you were going to be in it for the long haul. Everybody did. I did. I thought that this was my forever. So when divorce slid across the table, it was like, whoa, this is not what I bargained for. This is not what I thought what my life was going to be like. And you have to accept that reality. You have to accept that the life you thought you were going to have is not the life you're about to have moving forward. And that's okay. What I did on my journey was I grieved. I scheduled time for grieving. I know you're like, sis, you scheduled time for grieving. I absolutely did. I could not show up at work emotionally distraught, which on the occasion, I might have. I said when I go home tonight, when I put the kids to sleep, I'm going to get in this bed and I'm going to cry. I'm going to create a safe space where nobody is around, because obviously you can't let your kids know what's going on to a certain extent, depending on how old they are. I'm going to sit in this room and I'm just going to let myself feel everything I'm feeling. And trust me, it took me a long time to get into that space, because the first thing that I wanted to do was pretend that it didn't happen. I set myself up and put myself in a lot of difficult situations trying to pretend like I wasn't getting divorced. And you don't have to go through that. You don't have to set yourself up and put yourself in emotional harm's way trying to pretend that your life is normal, because it's quite frankly not normal. I also used to journal. I journaled every single day for 365 days. No lie. I wish I still had the journal to show you. I wrote down every single thought I had surrounding my breakup, my divorce. Everything. I talked about how I felt. I talked about my anger. I talked about my fears. I even talked about what I wanted my future to look like, my future love life to look like. Even though I was nowhere near ready to really concentrate on love, I still was like, I have to make a conscious decision to still believe in love. Therefore, I'm just going to put it on these pages. I dumped everything into those pages. So make sure you are recognizing these feelings and letting yourself have these feelings so you can accept the process and move forward, or at least start to move forward. The next thing that you need to do is you need to redefine yourself. If you were anything like me, your marriage and being married, being a wife or being a husband was your identity. That consumed you. That was your new personality. And depending on how long you were in that marriage, the breakup stripped you of a whole person you created within somebody else. And you gotta let that go. She does not exist anymore. That person that you created while you were with somebody else does not exist. When you're in a marriage, sometimes it's really hard to lose yourself. You get lost in trying to be a good partner. You get lost in trying to fulfill your duties that you feel like you need to fulfill as a wife. And it's easy. It's super, super easy, especially when you start popping out them babies. It is so easy to lose yourself in a partner, lose yourself in a marriage, to where one day you get out of that bed, you look in the mirror, and you don't even recognize yourself. You feel so broken when the divorce is happening, because you're like, I gave everything to this space, to this person, to my family, and now it almost seems like it was for nothing. But you gotta reclaim your time, baby. What what Auntie Maxine said? Reclaiming my time. You gotta start building your confidence again. You gotta prioritize yourself. You need to really step into your self-care bag. When I was going through my divorce, I made it a point to go get a massage, to get facials, to take myself out to dinner. I had to find a new hobby. I actually fell into content creation. Hello. I poured everything I had into content creation. I started revising what I thought I was supposed to be into who I wanted to be. So create a daily schedule, create a weekly schedule. And I know you're like, bitch, you're talking about creating schedules about self-care, and I'm trying to just get out of bed. It's a process. It's a process. You're going to first need to recognize what's happening to you, accept it and feel it. And then the very next step is, once you've accepted it and it starts to get a tad bit easier, which for some people, it takes time. You're going to have to start taking care of yourself. You're going to have to get up out that bed and brush them teeth. You're going to have to start working out and taking a walk. You're going to have to start brushing that hair. You hear what I'm saying to you? You're going to have to pour into yourself and love on yourself. That is a part of finding yourself outside of your marriage and outside of the roles that society has assigned to you. Step 3, you need to start building a support system. Lean into your tribe. You need to find this is the moment, if there was ever a moment that you needed to phone a friend. You have to have solid people in your corner. You do not have to go through this alone. And a lot of people feel like they have to go through it alone, because they feel like, why would I burden somebody else with these problems? Why should I be telling my business? You want to be private. And yes, be private to a certain extent, but just talking about your feelings surrounded by the divorce is not letting people into your business. You don't have to tell the people why you're getting divorced. You don't have to say why the breakup is happening, or why you chose to move forward with this, or why the person is choosing to move forward with this. But you can talk about how it's making you feel. You can call a friend, text a friend. You can say, listen, I am struggling mentally. Can you help me? Can you watch the kids for me while I just go outside and take a walk? Can you bring me lunch? Can you help me cook? Can you just sit with me? You don't have to go through this by yourself. I wish a lot more people knew that. Now, if you don't have a tribe, I definitely understand that not everybody has friends and family. There's therapy. There is therapy. You can get a therapist. You can talk to a counselor. You can, I always tell people to check your insurance, your health insurance, if you have health insurance, and see what is available to you. See what is available to you in the community. Sometimes there's community help that you can access where you can just talk and exist. There are divorce groups that you can go to, or grieving groups that you can go to, and just exist. Listen to other people's stories. This is the time to draw people in closer, not push people away. You don't want to isolate yourself. With that being said, your friends and your family are not your therapist. Don't tell every nasty, kinky, dirty detail of your divorce to your friends and the family, because honestly and quite frankly, it's not their business. And you don't want people to put their opinions on you and start telling you what you should be doing, because everybody's processing of a breakup is different. Everybody's healing is different, and you don't need people coming and telling you, well, you need to do this and you need to do that and you should be doing this, and I don't know how you feel like that. And trust me, it's not coming from a negative place. These people love you. They want to help you. They want to see you better. They don't want to see you sad. They don't want to see you moping. And they think by giving you unsolicited advice that this is going to change how you feel about the situation and bring you back quicker, bring you back to your normal self quicker, so everybody can be comfortable. So don't lean too far in where you telling all your business, because you don't want unsolicited advice. You don't want other people's voices drowning out your own voice and making you think how you're processing this divorce or this breakup is wrong. I know for me, I got a therapist. Now when it was happening to me, right away I didn't tell anybody. I only told a couple trusted people, and those people were very understanding and they tried their best. But then for me, I got a therapist right away. Maybe 3 weeks into the separation, I got a therapist. I needed to dump how I was feeling. I needed to talk about it with a professional who could work me through it. I got my friends in order. I told them what was going on. I leaned into them for support and they held me up. I had a good tribe. I 100% got a therapist. As soon as I moved out of my house, I got a therapist. I went directly and got a therapist. Maybe 3 weeks into the breakup, I got a therapist because I had so many emotions and so many unprocessed feelings. I needed a professional to help me. And I already mentioned earlier that I was journaling as well. And I leaned on my friends. I talked to my friends. I had my friends as close as I humanly could have them to help me through the situation. I had to lean on my tribe to get through it, and you should too. Step 4, I started setting boundaries around myself. I learned that boundaries are extremely important in order to heal. And what I mean by that, we are raising our standards. Whatever you did not like in that relationship, in that man or in that woman, you are writing it down and you are promising yourself that you will never accept it again. You are deciding that you are not going to let anyone moving forward move into your life and treat you a way that you wouldn't treat yourself. And I mean, let's be real, divorce can leave you extremely vulnerable. It can leave you extremely vulnerable to people, but it is also a way to expose yourself. It is also a way to expose maybe the stuff that you were accepting that you shouldn't have been accepting. And it's also a way to accept how you contributed to the failure of your relationship, because no one is unclean from a breakup. No matter how innocent we feel like we are when we walk away from our respective spouses, something you did contributed to that breakup, and it's really important to get to the roots of that. What could you have done better? How could you have been a better spouse? Now, hold on. I'm not saying take the blame for the breakup, especially if somebody had an overwhelming portion of blame. If you can put an overwhelming blame count on them, I'm never telling you to take blame for somebody's poor treatment, somebody's poor actions and disrespect. But what I am saying is look within yourself and say, why in the hell would I accept that in the first place? Why would I let that carry on for as long as I let that carry on? What about me let this person know that they could do that to me, that they could get away with this? Or it might simply be, did I listen to this person enough? Did I give enough? Did I try harder? Because sometimes if you dig deep, the answer might be no. The answer damn well might be no. And sometimes you gotta take a survey of all the shit you let slide. Why in the hell did I let that slide? I know I had a lot of those moments. Trust me, my journal was popping. Why in the hell did I let that go? Why in the hell did I just shut up and move on from that? All of those are things that you need to look at and recognize that is going to be helpful when you finally decide that you're ready for a new relationship. That's going to help you create those boundaries. That's going to help you create those standards. That's going to help you create self-awareness and self-esteem and self-worth. And finally, you're trusting the process and embracing the future, babes. You have to be hopeful and grateful and optimistic about what the future has to hold for you. Healing takes time. You're not going to be healed in a minute. You're not going to be healed in a month. You might not be healed in 8 months. You might not be healed in a year. It takes time, and you have to trust that. You have to trust yourself enough to know that if you do the work, you are going to eventually get over it and you're going to be better. I'm 3 years out and I still have flashbacks. It's like that. You have to remember that everybody is different. You're not going to magically wake up and feel better. And here's the kicker. you might see your ex-spouse seemingly moving on, seemingly okay, maybe even having a better life while you barely can peel yourself up out of bed. That's not your circus. That is not your monkeys. Don't worry about what they are doing. They are no longer your problem. You focus on your healing. You focus on the fact that one day you are going to find someone or something that is going to be way more fulfilling than what you experienced in the past. Don't look backwards. Don't check that person's Instagram or Facebook. Delete that text now number. Delete all of that. Delete all of the mutual friends that are worth getting rid of and all of the mutual family that is worth getting rid of so you can properly move forward. Focus on your small wins during this process, like, yes, I got out of bed. Yes, I brushed my teeth. Oh, I smiled today. Oh, I laughed today. Oh, I wrote in my journal today. All of those are small wins. All of that is worth celebrating. If you keep celebrating the small wins are eventually going to turn into big wins, baby. I did a lot of affirmations. I watched a lot of affirmation videos. I did a lot of affirmation meditation, and I did a lot of yoga. Now, when I say yoga, I loosely mean yoga. I mean more like stretching with nice music on, because I am not limber and I'm not a yogi. But all of those things helped me clear my mind. I went back to church, if you're into that. I started repairing my relationship with God. All of those things were helpful in me embracing what was happening and embracing my future. And I think that that is possible for you too. Trusting the process is about giving yourself grace. You don't have to have it all figured out today. Just move forward. Divorce will break you if you let it. You have to be committed to healing. You have to use divorce as a stepping stone to get to a better you. You have to look at it as an opportunity to realign with yourself, get to know yourself better, and choose a brighter tomorrow. I know that sounds corny as hell, but it is true. It's a blessing in disguise. And I know at this moment right now, while you're in it, it doesn't feel like it, but trust me, you are not alone. You are not the first person to get divorced. You are not the last person to get divorced, and you are not the only one currently getting divorced. And if you can take solace in that, knowing just that you are not alone, everything has the possibility of getting better. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. Let me know in the comments your story. I'm very interested in hearing it. I would love to hear what you're doing to feel better and to heal. I look forward to connecting with you. I love you. That's all I know.